Hello. Good morning. Welcome to this meditation. This is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to share a meditation, if you can call it that, a kind of practice that I've been doing for, I don't really know, long time. Probably about 15, 17 years, to be honest. The reason I wanted to share this, and I feel like I need to preface this of, why have you been doing this thing and not sharing that? Why do you share the kind of meditation that you do on this channel? You might not care, but for the people that do care, the reason is that I prefer meditation that is, you don't need any background knowledge. You don't need to have any beliefs or prior understanding about what's happening for it to work. And that's the meditation I share on this channel. It's kind of ubiquitous. Anybody can pick it up. It's mindfulness. You're just observing what's going on, and the deeper that observation goes, some pretty interesting things start to show up. But in my own practice, I've noticed recently that what I'll do is I'll sit down for meditation. I'll go through this entire process. I'll feel very relaxed, very happy, sometimes giddy, expansive, present. Then the moment I stop the live, I'll immediately contract back into my mind, back into compulsive actions, lack of presence, and it'll be like the meditation never happened. So I've been wondering, is that something that actually helps me long term? Because even still, the more meditation I do consistently, the easier it is to have that expansion happen. So it is benefiting me in some way. I am developing a skill to some level. And also, it's a nice, it's almost like a panaceia for me. If I'm anxious, if I'm stressed, I know if I have 5 minutes, I can just focus on my breath. I can allow my attention to arrive here. I can let go of anything that's pushing me forward, hurry, urgency, and just be here for a little bit. And I'll be relaxed. I'll feel expansive. I'll feel presence. It'll be interesting. But it doesn't last. So this meditation is the opposite of those things. There is dogma. There is belief. It's not something that I can just narrate and you'll be able to do it. So that's why I've been reluctant to share it, I guess. And also, I don't really understand what's happening. But it continues to prove to me. It continues to prove to me that it works. And it works long term. So for the people who are also frustrated about similar things, or just, mildly interested, or have other reasons, I don't know. And mainly, to be honest, because I feel like I'm rambling first and foremost right now. I apologize. But I feel like this introduction is important to show you how meaningful this meditation has been to me, to hopefully impart some of that potentness into you. But anyways, what I was going to say was the reason that I wanted to share this, to be honest, is twofold. I kind of feel like people around me keep going through some things, and I just think to myself, what would I do in their situation? I wouldn't do mindfulness. I would do this, but I'm unwilling to share it because I don't understand it. I don't know if it'll even work for you. It works for me. There's so many facets that I'm still exploring, so I don't feel, I haven't felt comfortable just being like, oh, this is something else I do. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it will work for you. I don't know if I'm making it up in my head, but it seems to work for me. So here, have it. I don't feel comfortable. Or I haven't felt comfortable just doing that. But the truth is, it's what I would do if I was in dire straits, or if I had if I suddenly had a disease or something like that, is what I would turn to. So I guess I feel a bit dishonest, so I wanted to share it. Yeah, that was both my reasons in one explanation. I meant to separate them, but that didn't happen. Yeah. So I haven't actually told you what it is, but that's kind of, if you're curious, some trivia on why have I been doing this for 3.5 years and not actually shared the thing that I've kind of, I don't know, rely on most. Or maybe this is all just useless, actually, and maybe it is just something that I'm making up in my head for myself, and actually it's not even going to work for you. So that is also possible. And I'm not just saying that as a joke. I really do struggle to get myself to do it as well, because part of my mind is, I don't know how this is working, and it doesn't fit in with my worldview. So it's probably just nonsense, but every time I do it, it still works. So I don't know. I don't know where that puts me. Anyway, before I get angry, really frustrates me. Anyways, so let's get into it, I guess. You'll notice I'm not sat on my chair today or with a backrest. That's because I find this takes a lot of attention, and it's kind of like balancing your attention on a fine line. I'm still not very good at it, but it works about 30-40% as well as it could for me right now. But I'm working on that as my attention becomes more stable. The effect becomes better as well. Well, that's what I've noticed empirically over the past decade and a half. Yeah, so anyway, the reason I'm not sat with a backrest is because I find I focus on my backrest more than the process itself. So anything to kind of support focusing on the process is what I'd recommend here. If having a backrest does that for you, be my guest. But for me, it doesn't. What else? Yeah, I kind of just do it wherever. This is something that I prefer to do on my own, or at least in an environment where there aren't people sat with me, in my kind of, I don't know, I'd say like an arm or two away from me. I find it works better that way. I don't know if it is fully dependent on the noise in the room, like my attention being distracted. It does kind of feel like it's something I want to do on my own. So I'd recommend that to you, but I don't know. It might be different for you. Try it out. What else? This isn't to do with preparation, but piece of advice. Sometimes it feels like it's not working, but I continue the process anyway. Just keep going, continue to the end, and it does end up working in the end still. Not as well as it could if it felt like it was continuing. But yeah, like it's okay, basically. Nothing's going to break. I should preface that. I should probably explain what this is, actually. Yeah, so we can leave that as the preparation section. Like, just, be in a relaxed posture that you can relax in and focus in. So this meditation, I don't really have a name for it. It's just this process I've been doing in different ways. It's kind of become a lot more systematic for me, in kind of 2 splurts. And yeah, so I guess I should probably name it. I don't know. So what I call it is energy breathing. It's a bit different than what you'd think from that name, but also maybe the same. I kind of think something like subconscious reconditioning would be a better name for it, because that's how I use it. So I use this process to set an intention every day, an intention that kind of permeates through my day and I don't have to think about it. It's a method, or what I think is happening is that it's a way that I'm able to say to my subconscious, this is what I want to take place. Let's make this happen. And then whether I think about it or not, through the day, months later, years later, the intention continues. It remains there kind of in my periphery, but kind of like behind, kind of at a lower level. It kind of continues to sustain itself and sustain its influence. So that's why I kind of paused a bit when I was like, nothing bad's going to happen. If you set an intention with this that will regress you in some way, it will happen. So don't do that unless if you want to. I did that accidentally, and for about 6 years, that intention kind of sustained itself. But the problem is, I set the intention to kind of regress my own meditation. But I needed the meditation to get rid of the intention. So it took me a long time to get rid of that, basically. So please don't do that. Yeah, that's the only warning. But as long as you just like replace it the next day as well, you'll be fine. But just don't leave it for a year and then try to replace it, because that will be very difficult. Anyways, so the process basically goes like this. I kind of start by the same preparation that I normally do for meditation here. And just like starting to slow down the breath. And just allowing our attention to arrive here. Just letting go of any thoughts of the day to come or the day so far. These things just allow us to hold our attention better. Stay on that fine line easier. And then you could release any tension and any tightness in the body if you'd like. I normally don't, I just kind of skip that. Yeah. So then I start feeling the breath coming in my nose and the expansion in my belly. And I kind of connect the sensations, the path of the breath. I'm kind of visualizing that path in my mind, not visualizing it intentionally, but allowing the visualization to happen. Just kind of seeing that path in my mind. It kind of lights up. And then what I do is, because at the moment it's coming in and going out, that path. So what I do is on the inhalation, I kind of pull more in than that visualization shows. So kind of like that light that's lighting up. I pull more into my body. Kind of allow it to swirl like a little whirlpool into the belly or at the end of its path. And then I kind of cut it off and don't let it go out again. Just kind of get that tail and let it kind of revolve into this little orb. And so the balancing of attention part is keeping this visualization, this viewpoint going, while also taking more in. So I do this 4 times. So that's 1. And then breathing in. Following it in. Even on the exhalation, letting the in, that light kind of curl around that orb that I've already got now. And adding on another layer. A layer made of the same stuff. And then once again. Each breath is different. The first one curled a bit, the second curled and then went the other way. The third is kind of just plopped on top. But I kind of take a breath in the middle to just amalgamate, let them all kind of mix together. And they're no longer a perfect orb or a circle. I just kind of let them be as they are. And then take that 4th breath, breathing in. As they say, a lot of love in. but nothing out. And letting it mix in. So that's one round. Now we start with the intentions. So I kind of mix it together as best I can. Sometimes I don't. It's okay either way, just exploring. Still don't know if it makes a difference. Mixing those layers of the orb. Kind of making them uniform if I can. Then the intentions I set are for this. This is what I call my energy that I'm working with. Kind of dissipates over time, but has this ability to take in intention and action those intentions. So focusing on it, kind of allowing it to imbue the intention of energizing and revitalizing, healing, making well. Being well. And kind of visualizing that. Sometimes I kind of imagine it speeding up, but it goes out of control, so I don't do that anymore. Or just kind of changing the color to a bright white, intense. Because I want this to be energizing, that's my intention. To heal anything that needs healing, to be balancing, to balance. And then, with an intention, I kind of intend for it to compress, condense. And that's our first round. Normally I do this 4 times before moving on, but I'll just do this once for today. I did start off just doing it once and I increased over time. Not gradually though. So I can still kind of feel it. It's kind of like a little pinpoint in my belly somewhere. I try not to think exactly or try to find exactly where it is, because that kind of makes me lose my attention on it, lose my hold of it. So the next step is kind of align myself, just to help my body kind of help my organs breathe, kind of clear up any pathways that might be constricted. And then I kind of set a boundary around my physical body for this ball of energy to expand into. A box, a sphere, the edge of the body, or just an intention of this is the boundary line, the temporary line that it's going to expand into. And then holding my attention on that little compressed ball, little pinpoint. Set the intention for the energy to expand into the boundary. Feel that expansion happening. like this other realm of sensation overlaid on top or below my physical sensations. Kind of like tingling, but this feeling of motion. Like an explosion. Little fireflies, sparks exploding into my body. So I kind of make sure they hit every point. Because I want those attentions to apply to every point of my body, my mind, down to the tips of the toes. Kind of help that energy along if I need to. Fingertips, moving, pulling it down my arms. Into the edges of my shoulders, the edges of my head. Sometimes it empties out in the middle, so I kind of try to have an even spread. Then just kind of sit with it for a little bit. Just feeling the sensations or just being present, being here. Remaining as still as I can. Creating a little bit of gratitude. Some thankfulness for the work the energy does. And that's really the process. So normally I do 16 breaths, so four groups of 4 every morning. Even now I feel light, I feel energized compared to when I began. So am I just making that up in my head? I don't know. But it works every time. Most times. One time, every now and then it doesn't work, but I can kind of see the signs that it's not going to work as well. Some days it kind of feels like the energy atmosphere is a bit low. Some days my attention is a bit low, so I'm not able to take as much in. In terms of intentions, those are the intentions I set. Actually, at the end as well. So those are intentions for the energy. But at the end, I like to set intentions for myself as well, from a first-person perspective. So just kind of feeling into those sparks, that light that's now kind of dispersed evenly through the body. Set the intention that I am energized. Like a wish, like a prayer. I'm revitalized. I'm happy. I'm healthy. repeating the intentions in my mind, allowing them to soak into the energy in my body, into my body itself, my mind, into that energy. I'm healed. I am well. Yeah, so that's the process I follow. I just do that once at the end of all 16 breaths. Yeah, there's other intentions I could add, like I'm here, I'm present. I don't think I'm ready to be present 24/7 yet though, so I'm still working on that one. I wouldn't set an intention for anybody else. This is my energy. I don't want my energy to, I don't know, have some influence on another person, even if I'm just making it up in my mind. As you kind of become more proficient with this, the words can just become intentions, feelings, feeling of something that has the intention that I'm trying to convey. So sometimes I use the word in to prompt myself to take more in, hold, expand. I use kind of keywords, but sometimes I don't need them. Whether one is better, I don't know. I suspect losing the words is better, but if they help, then they help. As long as you know what we're moving toward, wordlessness. I have a theory on why that's the case, but I won't go into that now. So, there is a deeper level that we can set intentions and invite intuition. That's not really my meditation to share because I follow somebody else's. If you're curious, message me. I'll share it with you. It's not something I'm gatekeeping. I don't want to share something that's not mine. Oh yeah, this is something I made up myself, by the way. This is a process I follow by myself, for myself. Well, now for you as well. Yeah. Another thing you can do with this energy is kind of visualize it moving out of the head, swirling, twisting around, down, back in through the legs, in through the base of the torso, kind of in this torus shape, this kind of 3D. And just seeing those threads that flow tighten up and close out any outside energy. Sometimes I find myself getting really overwhelmed by other people's emotions. It feels like they're like scratching against me and I can't get out of them. And just setting up this balloon, this shield, just makes all of them go away. It's another curious thing that I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's real, but every time it has an effect and it will stay up until you take it down. So where you take it down is just reabsorb it, pull it back in. open up. And then empathy will return to you. Maybe open up in a safe space once you're home. That's what I do. So that's kind of the process that I follow every day. I kind of do it before work, and it lasts me until like basically the end of the work day. I do have this theory that it disperses faster the more people, the more emotion you're around. It's kind of this layer of shield that I set up every day. That inside has these intentions I set for myself, but being ravaged by the world wears it away, I guess. I don't know what a unit of energy is. 16 normally works for me. It has this little surplus that if I keep going, it keeps building. You could probably increase more. Why I do it in groups of 4. When I started doing this at university, I'd started working with this process a lot earlier, but the first time I started doing it every day was in university. And the amount of energy I was taking in was such that after 4 breaths, my entire body was full. So the reason I started compressing it was because I wanted to see, can I take more in? Turns out I could. But nowadays, I get these little slivers. I just had this little orb about this big, maybe. So that shows you how much of a ways I have to go. And yet, I just honestly, I'm so convinced that it's having such a massive impact on my life. That's not to say mindfulness doesn't have its benefits. I still continue to practice mindfulness. I still consider myself an Advaitin. I still do self-inquiry. I still practice non-dual meditation, things like that. That continues. But until that's constant for me, this is something I do as well. I mean, they both kind of influence each other as well, because being present, being more here, means I'm able to keep that fine line in the energy meditation better. And having the intention to be balanced, to be well, psychologically well, sometimes I add, physically, psychologically, energetically, spiritually. You can add any epithet and see how that influences the intention, how it feels. It's all kind of feeling based. Doing those things helps in the other meditation, so they kind of interplay. It's all one. Different paths to the same truth. And these are the 2 primary paths I follow. So now I have that off my chest. I'm realizing I don't know if this will work. If you have aphantasia, I know I have at least 1 follower, 2 followers that do, 3 followers that do. Worth a shot. Maybe there's some way you can make it work for you. The thing is, this is my interface into my own energy system, if you can call it that. This is how I visualize it. That doesn't have to be the case for you. Maybe there's another way that works for you. Maybe there's some intention you can set that makes an effect happen, and you can just repeat that intention, that thought, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe if you can't, that's evidence that this is all just in my head. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to ramble too much. It's not that I don't want to ramble too much, it's that I don't want the focus of this meditation to just be me talking. yeah. There is something else about this that I could talk about, but it's very woo-woo, and I really don't understand what's happening. It seems positive, but it took me a while to get used to. I'm still getting used to it. But if something strange starts happening, I'm being as vague as I can because I don't want people to think that I'm crazy. But this might not even happen to you. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't want that on the internet. It's nothing weird. It's nothing like that. Anyway, I shouldn't have said anything. I'll probably cut this out of the YouTube. Anyways, I don't really have anything to add. Yeah, that's what I do. I do it every morning. I try to do it religiously. Sometimes I set other intentions. I'm experimenting with getting rid of my hair loss with it, but I'm also on medication, so I won't know what caused what. I also another thing I want to mention is if you do any kind of physical activity, or if you have a lot of pain, this works wonders for me with pain. If I just breathe in that energy into a certain part of my body, I just set an intention just right then and there, without the expansion contraction phase, for it to be healed, to be well, to be healthy, to be strong, to be flexible. Immediately any pain while I'm running, if I've got shin splints, if I've got tendonitis, immediately any pain just disappears for about 5 minutes, and then I do it again. I do have a theory that it's only the pain that goes away, the inflammation doesn't. So I don't know, experiment with it, I guess is what I'm saying. I just ran the other day and I kept doing it, and I think I pushed myself too far, and it took me like a week to heal, whereas normally it takes me a day to heal. But I wasn't in pain while I was running anymore, so you win some, you lose some. That's another interesting thing I'm exploring. I also just like to add this intention of gratitude to any food or any water that I consume. Just something I like to do. Yeah. It's kind of this whole system that you can play with, adding intentions to things, seeing what effect it has. It becomes difficult to kind of retain my critical thinking about it and be like, actually, I don't know what's happening still. I don't know if this is all in my head. All in my head, meaning I don't know if this is just a layer on top of reality that's kind of an interface into it, or if it's something that's happening at a lower level that is actually more real in a sense. I don't know which one it is. The yogis say it's more real. I'm more inclined to think it's an abstraction. I don't know. Or the yogis that I've read. There might be some that say otherwise. That's all I've got for you today. I hope this was useful or interesting. I probably won't talk about this anymore, but this is recorded, so I'll upload it and you'll be able to refer back whenever you do. But know that I'm continuing to do this every day. I have a habits tracker on my phone, so I was going to show you, but it'll stop the live. I've been doing it for about 4 weeks right now. When I was at uni, I did it for about 4 months consecutively. Then I stopped because it started working too well. But I've been doing it on and off in between. yeah, that's all really. As I learn more, actually, I might share my story or something. But until the process changes, I think this suffices, to be honest. I've never actually had to explain to somebody else how to do this, so this has been interesting and a learning experience for me as well. Nice to see you. I hope you have a good day. For those celebrating, happy Eid tomorrow or the day after. And I'll see you another time. Da fairs, my bros.